Welcome to another episode of Let's Watch a B Movie. What movie are we doing? We actually didn't talk about that. Okay, so it is Friday the 13th, so in the spirit of that, we've decided to do Leprechaun in Space.
Sounds like a good idea.
I was just thinking, if you think Friday the 13th, you think Leprechaun in Space, right? So,
When I think Friday the 13th, I think Miguel Nunez in Leprechaun in Space.
gotta get him on sometime, so.
Family member of my brother. Yep.
Future special guest host of Let's Watch a B Movie.
Probably not.
Let's talk about what movie we're doing today. We are doing, surprise, surprise, Friday the 13th. But not the one you think.
The remake.
The remake.
With Danielle Panabaker. I'm sure a lot of people's hearts are very in a flutter because Danielle Panabaker is still a beautiful woman. Actually, I don't know. I haven't seen her since this fucking movie.
What is her character's name? Because no one's going to know the
Jenna.
name. Jenna. Okay, yes.
Everyone who's watched the Disney Channel knows Danielle Panabaker.
I watched the Disney Channel back in the day.
Tongue twister.
Back when it was good. Back when you had good shows like Aladdin, Goof Troop.
So weird.
Yeah, once it got to Girl Meets
Famous
World,
Jet Jackson.
I was pretty much checked out. It passed me by. And unfortunately, Panorama Baker, she passed me by also. So
Fair, because I haven't seen her in anything since. She may have just been doing a bunch of comedies and love movies. And
did this kill her career?
No, I don't see why it would.
It's bad enough that Jason killed her.
No, because to be honest, she still did a decent job with what she was given. And how about we get into the movie by rehashing the original movie ending?
Well, the movie tries to do a weird thing where it is a remake, but it's going to try to basically combine the original part 1 through 4 into one movie, basically. So it's a remake / reboot / kind of sequel? I don't know. It's something like that.
I will say this. I'm sure everyone's already rejoicing the minute they hear this. Sam Winchester is our main actor.
And for those of you who don't know who that is, which is probably 99.7% of you, that name means nothing. Nick, you want to tell us what fucking show this actor's from?
Supernatural.
Folks, I don't even curse often, folks. I don't even say that word unless I really mean it, so. These motherfuckers keep showing up on my podcast every week. I shit you not. It's not intentional for picking movies that have these actors in it, but they keep showing up every movie we pick. If I pick the movie, supernatural actors. If he picks the movie, supernatural actors. We can't escape. What the hell? This is Nick's fault. This is his whole plan for the podcast. This is all one big tribute to Supernatural.
But anyway.
Anyways, so he's playing
Clay Miller.
Clay Miller. Now,
pretty much he's the brother from part 4, but instead of dying in a very hilarious way,
he's killing me!
He survives.
Well, so
sort of.
This is what I mean when we say they're using the storyline from parts 1 through 4. But first, we're skipping ahead, though. Let's get back to the beginning. The beginning, we have this opening, weirdly shot, sort of black and white, weird color montage of Mrs. Voorhees getting her head chopped off.
Which, it's kind of awkward in my opinion. It may just be the momentum of how she's swinging the knife that was coming for, I'm just going to say, our reboot Alice.
Oh, they don't. She's nameless. They don't actually give her a name or anything.
I'm just going to call her Alice because that was the name of the act from the main character from the first movie.
That's fair.
But so our reboot Alice, swings the machete as the mom brings the knife down, and when the machete hits the mom, she for some reason spins the opposite way of what you'd be thinking if a machete hits you in the face.
My experience with getting hit with the machete was a little bit different, so I think you're
okay,
right.
So anyway, then we get to a bunch of stoners. Let's go ahead and meet them.
Well, let me say this, though. I'll say this. I don't think, this is red flag number 1, I guess, but maybe some people disagree, but I don't think we needed that opening scene of the mom's head getting chopped off because they're going to give us another recap in a few minutes anyways. So yeah. I'm not sure if it was needed. I mean, you could throw in there, but it was just, okay.
But anyway, so our stoners, we shall now meet Wade, Richie, Whitney, Mike, and Amanda.
So, fun fact, Wade and Richie the actors are friends in real life, and they got the roles based on them already having a rapport as actors because they're friends in real life. So that's how they got cast. It shows on screen. It seems like they're actually friends. So, and we're not going to see a lot of that in this movie, so I appreciate it.
Heck no, but what we do get is the Crystal Lake Legend, which is the recap that you were talking about.
This series always has to give a recap. Always got to be Crazy Ralph speaking from the grave or them sitting around a campfire. There's always a recap because they assume that none of you have seen the previous movies, and I feel insulted.
Well, how about this? Feel a little nostalgic when you see Sackhead Jason kill Wade.
I love it. Baghead Jason, Sackhead Jason, back where he belongs. No mask, just pure with the sack on. He's gained about 30 pounds of muscle. Still my friend, though.
Played by Derek Mears in this one.
A.K.A. Predator. Or A.K.A. whoever won the latest Mr. Universe competition because he looks like a goddamn bodybuilder.
Well, consider the fact Derek Mears actually played Predator in the Predators movie.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
He actually played a Predator.
Well, this is basically a Predator movie. This is an unspoken Predator movie. This is like Predator with a Jason mask on, essentially.
Well, I guess, should we explain the random locket or just skip that scene entirely and get to the kills? Because I feel like killing people. I mean, what?
Well, this is the longest opening scene in the history of horror movies.
Well, that's because Jason has 5 people to kill here.
This is longer than the Drew Barrymore death scene at the beginning of Scream, even.
That's because he has 5 people to kill here. And that one, he only had 2.
Yeah, but it wasn't needed. Some of these deaths are pointless. They have no bearing on the rest of the movie. But, okay.
One of them was pretty fucking intense, though.
Well, they're all pretty fun. Like, for example, we have the one stoner guy who goes to find his weed.
And he gets his ear chopped off.
His entrepreneurial self is going to get some weed to smoke it or sell it or both. And unfortunately, Jason says no to drugs, but yes to murder.
Yep, and then Richie and Amanda are fucking. Okay, back to the next part.
Yeah, but the thing is, so there's a very awkward sex scene here. And I say awkward just because, I had to turn the volume down because I have roommates in my house and it was kind of loud and weird, but it's played for laughs, so I'm okay. And Friday 13 should have.
Sorry. In this whole movie, every sex scene in this movie is awkward.
It is, yeah, and especially, honestly, awkward for the actors. So on some Crystal Lake Memories, the documentary, they interviewed Richie, the guy who played Richie, and he was talking about the actress, and he was like, she was like from a different country. She just came here to act, and she wasn't happy with like
showing her tits.
That kind of sex scene is not what she was expecting, basically, but that's what she was told. It's kind of like Part 5. Part 5 had a porn director who clearly wanted to just have crazy, awkward, long sex scenes. And this is like the beginning of the movie. It's a little bit early. It's okay. But there's going to be so much more later that I'll complain about. So I'll say right now, it's fine. It's in the moment, so it's cool.
Well, good news for Amanda. She doesn't have to be in the movies for long because she gets wrapped up in her sleeping bag and thrown over a fire like a damn pig in a pit.
Yeah, this is probably...
This is a brutal death.
In the top 3 most painful deaths in the series.
The only problem is, I just feel like her body would look a little bit more charred.
She got off easy because what they implied basically was that I guess the fire burned through the sleeping bag and like cut her out of it basically. So she fell out of it versus just staying there in the fire. So she probably would have been worse off, but she pretty quickly just falls out the sleeping bag.
Yeah, but then she's already dead. To me, that looked more like a second-degree burn versus a death thing. Maybe she inhaled too much smoke and she died that way.
This is the first indication for me that this is a different kind of Jason, because Jason's kind of a quick kill, quick hitter person. He's not necessarily a torture you or set up torturous traps for you. Like Richie's leg gets caught up in a little mouse trap thing.
Bear trap. Mouse trap. What the...
What is it called? A bear trap?
Bear trap.
Richie gets caught in the bear trap, and his leg looks like it basically gets chopped off almost. And that looks painful as hell.
Fair.
And yeah, Amanda's burning the sleeping bag, but this is not like Jason's MO. Jason's more likely to take on the sleeping bag and hit her ass against a tree 5 times.
Yeah.
So this is a different kind of Jason. He's torturing them, which is a little bit odd, but okay.
Well, how about we get to Mike's death, because that one's... I wouldn't say bloody,
God, yeah.
But that one looked painful as hell.
This made me cringe. Like the way he got stabbed.
He got stabbed through the heel, then in the hand, and then what was another one in his knee?
And then he gets dragged down, and who knows what Jason does to the poor guy.
It sounded like broke his spine, because you just hear a bunch of cracking, and then blood spits out of Mike's mouth.
Yeah, as an opening, this opening throws you off, because you're like, wait a minute.
He's killing people pretty fast.
What the hell is going on? Like, I thought these were the main characters, but they're getting knocked off pretty quick, so...
Yep, and then Richie meets his death by getting completely sliced in half with, his face anyway getting sliced in half.
Yeah, he gets basically the old machete straight through the forehead.
Which,
down
I'm just wondering one thing. Why didn't he maybe even at least let out a yell? Because fucking Whitney's sitting there trying to get the bear trap open. He's like, uh-oh.
I thought it was an interesting acting choice. It seemed to be, what I could tell, is that either he was in complete shock or he just said F it. Because he knew he couldn't move, so it was kind
He
of like...
should have told Whitney, he's like, hey, fuck off.
What I found more interesting is how he died so instantly. It seemed like as soon as the thing touched him, he's already dead. I don't know.
We get that at least one more time in this movie. But
So now we get the part that I feel is stupid, which is... We'll get into it more later, but... Whitney's her name, right?
Yep.
Whitney running away from Jason. Jason with a machete, lunging at her, full force. The knife comes down, the machete comes down, and we cut to the credits. Now, for my money...
Movie's over, everyone. I get you feeling Whitney's dead. You have a good day.
Whitney's dead like Freddy was dead. She's dead, all right?
Yep, I lied to y'all. Sam Winchester is not in the... Why does this movie still say it has an hour left?
What the hell? I thought Jason won. He killed off all the characters. They're going to close down Crystal Lake again. They're all good.
Okay, so now we're meeting, I guess, our real cast of characters. Jenna, Trent, Bree, Chelsea, Chewie, Nolan, Lawrence, and Clay. Yeah, that's it.
Well, they all convene at a convenience store. So
It's very convenient.
very randomly. And then this is a classic. Have all our characters in one place. They can all meet. They're taking a road trip to Trent's father's house.
Yes.
And we meet this ragtag group of friends. And I say friends loosely because, as we're going to discover, none of these characters like each other. None of this makes sense for them as a friendship group.
You
It
act
reminds
like
me so much of Part 7.
You act like friendship groups need to make sense.
They do.
No, they don't.
If
My friendship groups do not make sense.
Okay. Loose connections can hang out casually. They can meet up at IHOP. They can go to a movie together. They can show up at a party together. They do not go away for the weekend on a trip together.
If they find out one of their friends is rich and they were just invited to that rich friend's house,
I don't think so.
fuck yes, I'm going.
I don't think so. And what they do when they get to
Free
the house,
food.
none of that happens. When they get to the house, none of that happens.
Free chicken nuggets.
Why do you think McDonald's is catering this party? There's no promise for chicken nuggets here, man. And they're not going to get fed. There's no food at this party.
It's fucking stoners, guys. Free chicken nuggets.
Okay. You remind me as we go through. You show me the scene where there's a table full of food and the stoners are having food. I don't see anybody eat anything in this whole damn movie.
That's
That you
probably-
think eventually would occur to them to eat.
You know what? That's probably why they all died. They were weak from lack of food. They needed them chicken nuggets. Trent promised, and he didn't deliver. That motherfucker deserves to die.
This small town looks like Nilbog. There's no McDonald's there. There's maybe a half gallon of Nilbog milk they can have, but there's no Domino's Pizza or Wawa in sight. That's
Well,
for sure.
if they do drink the Nilbog milk, at the very least, they will populate the forest again.
Hey, listen, I gotta be honest. They'd be better off in Nilbog compared to what happens to them in this movie. So.
Oh, yeah. And we do definitely get our comedic relief in Chewie and Lawrence.
Those two characters are my most likable characters. But the rest of the group treats them like pieces of shit. They seem like outcasts, even though they seem like cool dudes. They seem like outcasts from the rest of the group, and they're just here to smoke weed.
Smoke weed.
He brought his own bong.
Beer pong.
Beer pong with people you
doing
don't-
shoeys.
Beer pong with people you don't like. I don't know, man. I don't.
They did shoey drinks.
I assume they have other friends, not these friends. So that's all.
At least we find out Bree kind of took an interest in Lawrence, but that doesn't go fuck all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even Bree, who, again, from what I can tell, has no concernable connection to the rest of the group, I guess she's just promiscuous. Let's look at the different words we can use for each character. These are stock characters. We have High Dude.
Music dude, because
Oh,
technically
okay.
he was making his own record label.
All right. We have Weed Guy, Music Guy, Asshole Jock, Nice Guy. The blonde-haired guy and the blonde-haired girl, they don't stay around long enough to actually give them a character.
Surfers. We can just call them surfers. Fuck it.
I
I know their names.
other names, but they're not around long enough to actually be given a characteristic. But the bottom line is these guys, each character has like one specific thing, and then the entire movie they act that way. There's never any genuine conversation. We don't know anything about any of these people. Nothing. So.
One of my favorite interaction between Chewie and Lawrence, believe it or not, was actually when he reveals the bong. And he goes, "Lawrence, you've been cheating on me." No, baby. He's like, "I saw you with a bowl." No, it's not what a bowl, Lawrence.
Yeah, they.
That had me cracking up.
No, that was funny. They have funny lines. Like you want more,
and
from
they
them,
delivered it correctly.
You want more from them eventually, but they have funny lines for sure.
So how about we meet Redneck Donnie? Okay, let's get back to the real movie.
Okay, well, there's a couple quick interactions that I'll just say are somewhat pointless, but Clay obviously is looking for his sister. It's the Part 4 storyline. His sister's gone missing, as we know from the beginning. And now this is, 6 weeks later?
6 weeks later, so not 3 days later.
Not
like
3 days
part
later,
4.
like Rob was looking in Part 4. 3 days later, the man had articles and pictures of Jason.
Right.
Had police sketches of Jason 3 days later. Oh, okay, Part 4. But, so Clay's on the hunt, and he's...
First he runs into an older woman.
No, you're forgetting he runs to the police officer.
Oh, yeah.
He wants the cooperation of the police. He basically wants them to
do their job.
Focus their entire police department on finding his sister. But as the cop has said, hey, we looked for her. She wasn't there, so...
Fuck you.
I mean,
and then he actually gives, again, a reason why he was a front runner of a show for 15 years. He definitely does a show not tell kind of thing. Yeah, he mentions that his mother died of cancer, but the face he had on him is not only disbelief, but kind of hurt because he even had to relive that memory in the first place that his sister wasn't there at the funeral.
Yeah. And eventually he reveals later on that he basically checked out on his sister and his mother to go...
Yep, he bailed when he was 17, and that's when he became Sam Winchester. Fought demons and poltergeists and all this.
He could have helped his mom and sister, but he got offered to this damn TV show, and 15 years later decided to come back.
You're damn right.
I mean, listen, that's a good reason to leave your mom and sister.
Technically 4 years later, because the show started in 2005. He comes back in 2009.
Okay, well...
So 4 years later.
Well, hopefully Jason kills him in this movie, so then the show could end right there in 2009.
No.
So I think that'd be a service to humanity.
No, it would not be. It would be a disservice to humanity.
So he shows up at this old lady's house, and the old lady... This kind of thing I like. When the old lady, when you have someone in the town, like, is hinting at, like, you know, she's, like, talking about Jason. She's like, he doesn't like that. It's like Freddy's Dead, where Tom Arnold's like, they bring him! The damn kids! Like, it's like the town knows something is there. First of all, though, if I'm that old man, like, I'm moving out of the town if I know that there's motherfucking Jason in the woods, though. Because all these town people seem to know something's amiss there. She's like, all the kids that go missing here, they don't show up.
They never come back again.
So do the cops know about all these missing kids? Because they don't...
It's very possible, but to be honest with you, they kind of needed this old woman as an homage to...
Crazy Ralph?
Yep, Crazy Ralph. They'll never come back again.
That sounded like the Leprechaun. You should have said, you're all doomed.
Oh, right, you're right.
Yeah.
You're doomed.
Doomed. And now we get to the random farmer guy who's actually working on the farm for somebody else.
Yeah, I call him Redneck Donnie.
And Donnie is not very helpful in getting information about his sister.
But he wants to sell his weed.
He does offer him some weed. So Donnie found the weed from earlier in the movie when What's-His-Face found the weed.
Yeah, what is the point of this fucking weed? Is this weed going to show up any point in time in this movie at the end? Maybe they set it on fire and Jason gets caught in it.
What's the point of Donnie? I mean...
when Donnie dies, Jason finds the mask.
I think a good homage would have just been like, Chewie, the trickster, brings a mask. And when he kills him, he gets the mask, because that would be taken from Part 3. Why does Donnie randomly have a Jason mask in his barn?
I don't know. Why does Donnie lose his virginity to mannequins?
And he's actually in the process of revisiting that when Jason kills his ass.
Yep, slits his throat.
And not before Donnie says, that's messed up, man.
Yeah, looks at his face. So, he goes to Trent's house, knocks on the door, realizes he's already seen her. He's about to turn away and walk away when she goes, hey, you want to come in for a beer?
You know, there's a proper etiquette when you're at your boyfriend's house. You don't invite in the other guy who just had a conflict with your boyfriend back at the convenience store.
Yep.
What kind of girlfriend is this?
And he even said, I don't think your boyfriend would appreciate that.
No, it's okay. Come on in. She invites him in, and surprise, surprise, Trent's pissed off, as he should be.
Yeah, his girlfriend's pretty much inviting another guy in. What do you think that she's expecting from him now?
Yeah, and the movie wants me to think Trent's an asshole, but frankly, I'm on his side so far. He's like, hey, bro, you can't stay. This is my house, the private party, all true.
And fucking Clay's just like, understood. Have a good day.
But Jenna's looking at Trent like, oh my God, how could you not let him join our friend group? What? He's a random stranger.
So that explains how all these people are friends. It's not because they actually have anything in common. It's because Jenna
is so friendly.
Exactly.
So she's like in a math class with Chewie and Chewie and Lawrence. She's in a math class with them basically, and we're just like, hey, we're going to a cabin this weekend. You want to come? They're like, yeah, we can get stoned there.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. You're right. She's so opening up to strangers that makes sense to me now. And matter of fact, when she leaves, she's actually like, do you want some company? You're gonna leave with this guy? You have your group of friends here that you just got there with. You're getting on a bike with some dude you don't even know?
Yes. Well,
this is damn near like hitchhiking, basically.
So the reason is
mind control. Do 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 do.
It's Sam fucking Winchester.
You're gonna stop saying his name like that means anything, all right? Nobody cares about this guy. Anyways, Nick looks at this movie not as Friday 13th. He's like, a Jason versus Sam.
Yeah.
As if that's a thing. This is a verse movie in
Yes.
Nick's mind. Wow.
The only problem is they did the fight scene badly,
Oh my god.
in my opinion. They
It
should have had Dean come in at the end.
Shouldn't have been a fight. It should have been Jason just killing his ass, decapitating him around the spot.
No.
That'd been more realistic.
Nah.
So, anyways, we do got to talk about the blonde-haired guy and the blonde-haired girl because they're about to make their exit both from the house and from the movie.
Nolan is shot by an arrow. The blonde hair guy's down.
Now, Jason's aim is impeccable.
Oh, yes.
This man,
He doesn't use a crossbow this time either.
he's shooting a moving target on a boat.
Yes.
The boat's moving,
Yes.
and in mid-moving, he still gets him in the head.
Yes.
That's damn near impossible.
No, it isn't.
With an arrow,
Exactly.
you have to aim at the spot you think he's going to be at.
Yes.
It's a person standing on a boat.
Yes. That person ain't moving. The boat is.
That's what I'm saying. It's a moving target.
Yes.
It's not easy to have a standstill target.
What, you can't hit a standstill target with a bow?
With the bow and arrow,
Yes.
even if I could, it moving is 10 times as hard. And no, I can't do the standstill either. So, but
We are going camping one day. I'm going to show you how to make
what
a bow and
he's
arrow.
doing equivalent to basically it's standstill. That would be like throwing a dart from back there and hitting the center middle spot.
Yes.
Now, imagine the dartboard is moving back and forth on the wall with no rhyme or reason. It's not like the boat's going in a straight line. It's just moving, like almost in a damn circle.
Yes.
Okay. You seem to have no logical problems. Let's move on. I feel like this is bullshit.
Because any hunter will be able to make that shot.
Here's what happened in real life, right? The first arrow misses his head by 3 inches. The guy's like, oh, shit, who just shot that? He turns back. Second arrow misses him by 5 inches. Like, holy shit, who is this? Third arrow gets him. And now we're talking realistic.
Nah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This man has been a hunter his entire life.
Maybe.
There's no maybe to it. Notice how there's no animals in this forest.
Even as a hunter in real life, he's never shot anyone in a boat, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he has, but probably not.
You never know. You don't know his past.
By the way, if Trey's cabin, or is it a cabin?
Trent.
Was it?
Trent's
If Trent's cabin
house,
has
whatever.
always been there, and I assume Trent's been there
Plenty of
numerous
times.
times, shouldn't he have already been killed at this point? Like,
No.
why? Like Jason, they show basically, it seems like is like a little while away from that cabin,
Yeah.
like within quick walking distance.
it
Shouldn't
would have
Trent's
to
whole
be
family been murdered at a certain point?
Nah. You know why? The old woman wasn't murdered. He apparently does not give two shits about people
No.
who already live there.
The old woman,
Grandfather clause, man.
The old woman was driving distance away, I think, because remember Clay was driving in different locations. He had a truck originally, I think.
No, he had a bike the entire time.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was a motorcycle.
Okay, but it wasn't him walking from place to place.
No.
Those places are in town, but they're not at the lake.
So after Nolan's been shot, Chelsea gets hit by the boat.
Painful.
That part is completely coincidental.
That's a concussion. That's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
hurt in the morning.
So she sees Jason, hides under the dock when... So, I want to bring this up. So, right before she dies, she looks up, sees Jason. Okay, whatever. Machete goes in, comes out. We see tits. She falls. And then we get the exact same shot that they used right before he stabbed her for also after he stabbed her, still looking for her.
That's bad.
I'm sitting there thinking, why? Why didn't they just have him, walk away?
I gotta ask.
Why show the tits?
No, how is that even possible? Okay,
stabbing through a dock.
No, I get that part of it.
Dock's wooden.
Okay, but they show Jason walking, right? He walks by. He's not looking down. He's looking straight ahead, right? So he's not looking down. She's not touching the bottom of the dock with her head. Otherwise, it'd be something where, like, with his feet, he just feels she's underneath. She's not touching it. She's actually below. He walks back, right? We hear no more footsteps, but then the thing comes down in the exact spot.
He is there.
I just think they're taking this Jason the Hunter thing to extreme of, like, basically, he's essentially Predator. He's the greatest hunter in the history of the world, apparently. Like, I don't know about that. He's doing stuff here that's a little bit crazy, so.
So, pretty much Clay's and Jenna's first interaction with Jason is they hide under a boat.
As people do.
And you find out the camp still has power.
Oh, God.
How does this camp that has been shut down since, 1980, still have power?
Now, this is interesting. So, we know the timeline, the original series is all messed up. But what the hell is the timeline here? You're saying since 1980, you feel like 1980 was like when his mom's head got chopped off.
Yes.
You feel like this is like 30 years later?
Yes.
Interesting.
And so if no one's been in this specific site for 30 years, how would there still be power?
Not only that, but it's like, okay, again.
In spotlights, nonetheless.
Again, Trent's cabin there. He's been coming there back and forth. Like, why? If Jason saw his mom right there in 1980, that means the killing should have started immediately after that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny? They didn't mention what happened to Alice. I thought that they may say, like, okay, well then 6 months later he killed the girl. They didn't mention that.
Well, here's another thing I'm wondering. Who was the headless body? This is why I wanted to bring up the old woman again. Because at first I was thinking, oh, he's just carrying Donnie's body. Well, he didn't cut Donnie's head off. He just slit his throat. He didn't cut Nolan's head off. And to be honest, Nolan was still on the boat. I doubt he went out there to get him. And he didn't. And we find Chelsea later on still in the fucking water.
This again is a ripoff of Predator, because Predator, and especially Predator 2, would walk around with people's heads.
So whose headless body is this, and who is the headless body? Was it the old woman? Was it just some random schmuck?
No, because I like what you're saying as far as, like, if the old woman knows about him and has been there the entire time, it doesn't make sense why he would suddenly make it a priority to kill her. It seems like you're right. If he sees Jason in the original series, he doesn't bother the town people. Mm. It's just if you come to the lake, you trespass on his territory.
But she lived in the lake.
She did not live in the lake. This is where you're missing it. When he visited her, I'm pretty sure that was like a house away from there.
You could see the lake in the back.
I don't think so. Maybe. Probably not.
You could see the lake in the back.
Well, none of it makes sense. And how? Okay, if he's been around for 30 years, how are these people just living on the lake then? Wouldn't they all be trespassers? Wouldn't you want to kill all of them?
I mean, to be fair, they're also not young kids that could resemble the teens that caused whatever happened to Jason to happen, because obviously Jason's still alive.
There's no random reason why he would just suddenly go kill the woman.
Yeah, so
she's been living there the whole time. So it's like, why would she be like a random Tuesday, just be like, whoa!
Yeah, so we
gotta get back to my old lady.
Yeah, so we pretty much get a random headless body that we never meet. So there's your character that we never even got to meet, and there's a dead body.
I was probably the one good character, beheaded before we got to know him. Damn it!
And we find out Whitney's alive.
Kill me now. Whitney has been taken as a hostage.
Yes, because she, if we mentioned the locket that we probably should have mentioned, she supposedly looks like Jason Voorhees or Pamela Voorhees before she got old. Because that locket had a picture of Jason's mom when she was younger.
How did that save Whitney at the beginning of the movie when he's lunging at her with a knife and it comes down on her face?
Maybe.
What happened that split second to change Jason's mind?
So maybe it didn't change her mind right away. The machete came down, but the locket deflected it.
This is such bullshit. Jason taking someone hostage is the dumbest shit ever. So first of all, if it was his mom, then guess what? That means Whitney would enslave Jason. Jason would be would be her personal slave now. She could tell him what to do. She could own him. Him locking her up and then, oh yeah, you're my mom. That makes no sense from any angle.
She does not understand her power
Because let's say he thinks it is his mom. He's gonna enslave his mom and chain her up. That doesn't make sense.
You don't know what they did in their
God.
young lives.
This would actually establish why she's so.
Stockholm syndrome.
No.
So I just want to.
I'm not buying that.
So another thing I want to mention is another Chewie line. Let's all be one big happy cliche. Honestly, I get the
Thank
feeling.
goodness for some.
I get the feeling that's self-referential
Yeah.
to what they are compared to the rest of the series. They are literally carbon copies of all the other characters we've seen throughout the series of movies.
I appreciate the self-awareness. They know what they've signed up for.
Also, why was Trent so pissed off over a chair?
It had special family and sentimental value.
But a chair
It was just a chair.
versus somebody's potential back broken.
Well, again, this is why I'm saying Trent doesn't like the guy. So it's like, if the guy falls, he immediately thinks my chair, not the safety of his friend, because it's not his friend.
All right. Well,
Treats Chewie like a piece of shit.
Well, unfortunately for Chewie, he gets stabbed with a screwdriver.
This is a little bit too bloody, actually. I was like, ah.
Well, it depends on where in the throat it hit him. If it did hit him in the jugular vein, yeah, it's gonna get bloody.
Yeah. It wasn't a fun kind of gore, though. I was like, I don't need to see this.
And now, here's something I'm wondering. Does Jason somehow lock into his horror portation skills while he's alive with this next couple of scenes?
Well, they built underground tunnels for him in this movie to give him some kind of explanation for his ability to transport in and out of different places. But then on top of that, they go and add the horror transportation. What do you call it? The
Horror portation.
horror portation.
Because what happens in this next bit? So Jason kills Chewie. Jason catches Whitney in not even 2 seconds, takes her back, chains her up, comes back, kills Lawrence.
Lawrence put up a good fight.
Well, yeah, up until he got a axe thrown onto his back.
He'd been alright if they came and helped him, but because he's not anybody's friend, nobody cared to come and help him.
No,
And that
Jason
was-
would have killed him.
No, they could have got him.
Jason would have killed him.
Here's what we do, though. You have 5 people, right? No, 4 people. One person's a diversion. They run this way. One person runs this way. One person runs that way. You're better off splitting up at this point.
Well, this is where I figured Jason has horror portation, because right after finishing Lawrence off, he's on top of the house.
Listen, Santa Claus can do it, and so can Jason.
He goes from literally half a mile away from the house to on top of the house in the amount of seconds it takes for Lawrence to fall on the axe.
What they did here was they took Zombie Jason from parts 6 through Jason X. They took the Jason of parts 1 through 4, and they combined it all together, giving him all the strengths and none of the weaknesses. This is by far the most unstoppable version of Jason, even more so than Uber Jason from Jason X. They made this motherfucker basically like
So you're
a
saying this is
superhero,
the-
an unnatural, unstoppable killer.
This is Day Jason.
No.
It's like Daywalker, but with Jason.
Yes.
Day
This
Jason.
This is the Blade version of Jason.
Day Jason.
Day Jason.
Day Jason.
Because from what I can gather, not only is he the best hunter of all time, he's also like damn near 7 feet tall, 300 pounds of pure muscle, no fat on him. He also can teleport, as you said,
Yep.
and is intelligent. There's no discernible weakness I can tell.
Also, here's another thing.
If it's Jason versus the Avengers, I think Jason has a leg up in this one.
So here's another thing at this point. So earlier in the movie, power goes out. Trent gets pissed off saying, "Why is the power out?" Well, in one scene later, power goes out all the time. There's no reason to get pissed. It's like, then why the fuck
Yeah,
were you pissed earlier?
he's always pissed. That's his MO. So
Trent has a gun, by the way.
yeah, let's see how much good he does with that. So
Nope, because Bree gets impaled on antlers and then Trent shoots her.
I thought it'd been funny if they would have played this like actually
Trent killing her
him
instead of
actually
Jason.
killing her, because actually the way he did it when he found her body, he very quickly was like, "Jason killed Bree." I know what he was thinking. Probably he's like, "I shot her." He's like thinking, "I killed her."
Right.
Because he shot in the door 3 times. I'm pretty sure that it would have been just more funny if he actually shot her. As it is, she gets killed 5 times. She gets impaled, she gets shot, And Jason's about to throw her ass off the roof so she can land on the damn police car also.
And the fourth time was actually prior to this, and that was the bad sex she had with Trent. Talking literally lines and scenes talking about her damn tits. We don't need egregious.
The longest, most drawn out, uncomfortable sex scene.
Oh,
I mean, they cut to different scenes. Like, I think they cut it between this and Chewie's death scene, and it keeps cutting back, and I'm like, okay, we get it. They're having sex.
Oh, and you want to hear the worst part? Amelia walked in at the entail when she was moaning really loudly. Well, here's another uncomfortable thing. The cop gets a fire poker to the eye. I'm sure that was very uncomfortable.
Cops are useless in horror movies. They never do anything productive. This guy had it coming. He was skeptical hippo. And Jason, with his supernatural powers, jumped down and with one perfect swoop of the hand, impaled the guy through the door, through the head. That's going to hurt Gene.
And then Trent gets stabbed and then impaled on what looks like a tow truck.
This was well done because this was done in a very humorous way where you think the truck that drove by
is
Jason, and they build that up, but then that's just some bullshit.
Guy with a fucking breathing tube in his nose.
I remember when I saw this in theaters, that scene got a lot of laughs. People were laughing their ass off when that happened. So.
Up until Jason then shoves the machete in and then picks him up by the machete to make it go deeper and deeper.
They were still laughing. Because Trent was such a despicable asshole. You know, the funny thing is, this is a shared universe because I don't know if you remember the first Transformers movie. This actor's in that playing a high schooler named Trent. Michael Bay actually came out and said, yes, it's the same guy. It's the same character. Trent, who's Megan Fox's boyfriend in Transformers, is the same Trent here.
Oh my gosh.
And
they should have mentioned that. Yeah, I dated this girl. It looks so much like that actress. Clay finds Whitney. No one gives a shit.
This is where the movie falls off dramatically for me because that middle portion was great. It was a lot of fun. The humor was there. The deaths were there. There's a lot of action. When we get back to the whole just focusing on the brother finding Whitney and she's still alive, but she's a hostage. And now you got the awkward trio of Jenna, Clay, and Whitney. And this is where the wheels start to fall off a little bit for me. I'm just starting to lose interest because I don't care about Whitney. I know that in the first 15 minutes, she's our main character, and we're supposed to, based on that 15 minutes, form some kind of emotional connection. But to me, she hasn't earned the right to be the final girl or the main character in this movie. So we get back to her now, you realize, okay, oh, this is all about her. This is her storyline. It just doesn't.
So then you must have been extremely happy when Jason just stabbed her straight through the chest.
I felt amazingly relieved because I was like, listen, they made the right choice here. We really want to follow Clay and Jenna. It's their story now. They've earned the right. So when Whitney got... What? You know?
Why did Jenna get stabbed instead of Whitney?
I have no explanation because I don't think Jenna did one wrong thing in the entire movie.
She didn't.
She's such a nice person.
Yes, she was. And she was Danielle Panabaker.
I mean, she was Daniel Panorama, yes. And she was because apparently this killed her film career as well as her character died.
Yeah, and here's another question. So you're at the bus, and to be honest with you, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be the climax because all of a sudden Jason ends up behind Clay, shoves Clay's face into the bus, and for some reason doesn't kill him.
Nope.
Why?
Is Jason stupid?
Since when?
All the previous movies. just not in this one.
Here it is. Here's the verses everyone's been waiting for. Jason versus Sam Winchester. Oh, wait. No, Clay. Sorry.
When I was in the movie theater, I did hear one person say that. He was in the back row, way in the back, sitting by himself. And he said that, and I didn't know who the person was. I was like, who? Jason versus, huh? And, yeah, so just a fun fact. One person did say that. Now, in my opinion, the whole reason for this movie is because Jason saw 3 episodes of Supernatural, pissed him off, and now he's killing everybody. Now he finally gets to kill one of the main actors from the show to give him justice. That'd be Jason's justice, is killing off the main guy from Supernatural.
So there is a problem I have with this fight. There's like 3 instances where this fight is edited to the point where it's kind of not readable. Like, there's a part where Jared Padalecki tackles Jason. And then all of a sudden, the very next shot, it looks like Jason just caught Jared Padalecki's fists. And I'm just like, when did he throw a fist?
Yeah.
I never saw this man throw a punch. I just saw him tackle him, and all of a sudden he's in a chokehold.
It's one of those movies where they maybe never thought to actually have
A real fight?
a fight choreographer on set, because it's not really a movie where Jason's in fights. So when you get to the actual fight scene, you're like, the director's kind of probably winging. He's like, do this, do that, and they're editing. They're like, yeah, that looks good, And
Real question I got also is, why did Jason never throw a punch? I'm sorry. If you're in a fight, you're not just going to pick someone up and throw them. You're going to sit there and swing. Swing, better.
That I'll stand against, because outside of Jason getting boxed up on the damn roofs of Manhattan, I just don't see Jason throwing a punch. And if he had thrown a punch, he would have knocked off your boy's head. So
No, it wouldn't have, because he's human in this.
no,
Yeah.
he's definitely not human, right?
He's human.
He's not human.
Oh, wait, the horror portrayal. Hey, he's human.
Yeah, he's
Instead,
some weird mix of zombie Jason and human Jason.
But instead, Jason gets his head fed through a wood chipper and stabbed.
Ouch.
And I'm just wondering.
Ouchies.
I'm just wondering, why didn't they just push him in the rest of the way?
Because they're stupid.
Better yet, why didn't they just decide to leave?
They're dumb too.
Instead, we get this montage, which reminds me of the most important fact about this movie. The most important thing that cannot be overlooked. The chair is still broken.
The chair is still broken. You know, if nothing else, we need to get this damn chair fixed.
Right. Now, Trent's dad's going to be pissed as all hell.
Trent's dad's going to be pissed. The whole Trent family legacy is in jeopardy because this chair is supposed to get passed on to generation after generation.
Right. And now, Trent and Bree's baby will never get to feel what that soft, luscious seat felt like under the tush.
Imagine Bree's poor family when the coroner has to explain to her, what happened to our daughter? Well, it looks like she was impaled. And she was shot 3 times. What?
Postmortem.
And she was thrown off the roof and landed on the police car windshield.
Fair.
Poor Bree's parents having to hear that damn news.
Well,
and by the way, I hope that that Chewie and Lawrence's parents actually know where they went for the weekend, because they may have a hard time ever finding them. So,
in true Friday 13th fashion, we get your final jump scare, which, to be honest with you, they should have left alone. Should not have added this. Should have had these characters just leave instead of throwing Jason in the fucking water and then throwing his mask back in the water with him. No.
That would have been a better idea.
Walk away.
You know, as late as 2017, they had a sequel in the works. Like, to a point where apparently they had a script, they were in pre-production, but in 2017 they canceled it all together completely. This movie made a lot of money, so you would have thought they would have fast-tracked a sequel pretty quickly. You could have brought Jason Mears back. You could have brought back Supernatural dude.
Probably not.
Killed him in the opening scene, though, is what you want to do. So.
Well, yeah, they would have had to, because that literally, after this movie, Jared Padalecki signed on for even more seasons of Supernatural, so he didn't have the time.
You just film in the
hell.
You just filmed during his off season.
Hell, Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles both gave up starring roles in the MCU universe to be part of Supernatural.
So they're stupid.
Jensen Ackles was supposed to be Captain America.
So these are idiots. Their agents are idiots too.
No, because they still made more money. Think about all the conventions they went to. Think about all the publicity they got. And
Nick.
They did more.
Nick, I have to tell you, if he was Captain America, there would have been more conventions. There would have been more publicity. He would have been Captain America.
Jensen Ackles and his wife are now doing a prequel series of Supernatural, so even more money's going into it through his own studio company that he decided to make because he was in Supernatural and he had fun as a director.
You know, comparing MCU and Supernatural, it's really like comparing Jason and the Puppet Master. It's really like Alien and Pumpkinhead. It's one of those comparisons. So I'm glad he chose to do Puppet Master instead of Jason. Yeah.
You're damn right, because guess what?
Yeah.
Puppet Master has more movies
Oh. Then Jason?
Than Jason.
Get out of here.
They literally just released like an 11th movie, even though it was shit, because they changed the puppets
Yeah, but how many
characters so much.
But think long and hard about how many Jason movies there actually are, though. It's about 12.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What do people want to see more? Puppets killing Nazis versus Jason killing naked teenagers.
Answer is Jason killing naked teenagers. All right, let's get to our categories.
Alrighty, best performance for me. It's Chewie. Every single time he was on screen, I was laughing. I enjoyed his performance very much.
Well, that guy's actually a good actor. So, fun fact with him, he actually was also in the friendship group with the actor who plays Richie and the actor who played the other guy in the beginning.
I'm kind of surprised they weren't in the beginning then.
So those two convinced him to take the role because he was hesitant. Because actually, this time, he had just been in the movie Disturbia. Mm-hmm. He played Shia LaBeouf's best friend in Disturbia. He was actually getting like really good, strong teen roles. It was kind of actually for him he was a well-known face at the time, basically. So it was kind of a step back for him to be like random teen or Friday 13th movie. But his friends convinced him to do it. They said it'd be fun, and he did it. But yeah, he's a standout because actually he's a good actor. He could have done a lot more too if they gave him more to do, basically. The fun factor of the movie definitely goes down once him and Lawrence are gone. Let's see, but standout. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him also. I think you're right. I think he does strike me as a memorable character in the movie. So.
Hell, even his death scene, he literally was fucking around with a hockey stick and sees Jason. Instead of getting scared, he's like, "I think it completes your outfit."
Well, the actor said, Derek Mears said that the dude basically was like, he was like so into it. He was like, put more blood on me. Let's do more blood. And he was like, there was so much blood, he said, that he had to keep asking him, like, dude, can you breathe even? He's like, let's just do it. So he was like so hyped up about it that he was like asking for more and more blood. He wanted to be as bloody as possible. So
I'm surprised he didn't try and ask for like a bigger death scene than just a screwdriver through the throat.
Yeah, but
like maybe get thrown all over that shit and have stuff just sticking out of him.
But they made it big with just how damn slow the screwdriver went into him. That shit was cringe.
All right, worst performance. This is a hard one because, to be honest, none of the actors did a bad job. But I'm going to go with Brake, the cop. Mainly because he was in such a short scene. Yeah, it may have added characterization to Clay, but what did we really know about Brake besides he was a cop?
Yeah, nobody was terrible. Some of Lawrence's lines fell a bit flat sometimes, but man, yeah, nobody was really terrible. It's funny, they all feel necessary because they're all this stereotype basically. So they all come together as like the thing of cliches. Like you could be like, okay, well, but everybody was good with their stereotype basically. Like Trent was a perfect asshole. I'm gonna say the dude that played who's the one guy, the farmer dude?
Donnie.
The guy that played Donnie. It's a weird performance he gave. The way he was saying his lines is like weird.
I was about to push the start button on the machine and whoop ass on you, boy.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I'm sure that was meant to be funny, but at the same time, it came off just very over the top and stupid.
I was happy to see him get killed, honestly.
Best scene, be honest for you, to me it was that 20-minute opening.
I was going to say the same thing. This is one of those movies where the opening is the peak of the movie. The 20 minutes is enough to actually, where you do actually like those characters. And it's a lot of action and a lot's going on and it's fun. That opening is fantastic.
And the music definitely just adds to the intensity and the excitement of the movies and the deaths and the blood.
Yeah, the movie, like the opening is fantastic. Nothing else really stands out, so I'm gonna go with the opening too.
Yeah,
it was long as shit. It was 18 minutes, and they spent so much time on it that the rest of the movie is like kind of shortchanged a little bit. But no, it was good shit.
And then worse for me was that ending jump scare when Jason just jumps out of the docks. Like, why? Why did you even need to add that? It's Jason Voorhees. We all had a feeling he was going to come back to life. We all had a feeling you were probably making a sequel at the same time.
Yeah.
You didn't need to add that stupid jump scare.
The whole ending to me was the whole last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes for me, just was a drag. I couldn't get into the last 15 minutes. So.
What would you like to explore more? Be honest, originally I wrote nothing, but I would like to see like Jason's upbringing a little bit more after his mother died.
Yeah.
Like maybe show him growing up hunting in the woods, even though kind of self-explanatory. But it would make sense for Vic to understand how he's able to shoot a bow and arrow.
True. No, you can shoot a bow and arrow, but you are the best bow and arrow shooter in the history of the world. That's what they're telling me. They're saying there's Robin Hood and there's Jason.
So you're saying he would never be able to hit a moving target? No one should be able to hit a moving target with an arrow? Have you not seen the show Arrow?
I have not. No.
Neither have I.
I'll watch it someday after I watch Supernatural. So that means never.
I don't watch DC stuff.
You know, I would actually like to see, they could have shown some flashbacks of maybe Whitney and Clay's mom, or flashbacks of them as a family or something, establishing them more, because through flashbacks you could have gave Whitney some more
characterization, more likability.
So when we get back to her, it's been so long and I just don't care about her, but maybe if you sympathize with her by showing me her caring for her mom.
And also that would help remind us that, hey, she is in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. All
right. And so originally I put down eliminate. This time I didn't really eliminate anyone. Instead, I would rather change that Jenna is the final girl instead of Whitney.
Yeah, so I agree with that 100%, but I take it a step further and I say eliminate Whitney from the movie. She died in that opening scene. Clay is here to find her, but nothing changes if he finds her corpse. He finds her, she's dead. He's still stuck in the room with Jason. He still has to fight him off. Nothing changes. But he's now has a responsibility to protect Jenna. So you still have that dynamic. Get rid of Whitney altogether. She's not needed. Jenna had to die for Whitney, and I didn't think the movie built that up. She didn't earn that right to die at the end. So,
especially since Danielle Panabaker is definitely the better actress, in my opinion, out of her and Whitney. But then again, all the actors that Whitney did was Scream.
Yeah, and I've only seen them in this movie, but in this movie I thought she did a better job.
So final thoughts. A 2. Oh, I'm supposed to actually give the reason?
Well, explain your 2.
I'm pretty sure I gave the reason throughout the entire episode. Anyway, so the 2 is mainly, it is a fun film. It's definitely fun. The first 20 minutes is definitely the best part of the movie. The kills are definitely not what you're used to when it comes to these Jason films, because honestly, besides part 7, Jason was really just a one-note character when it comes to kills. Most of them just happen to be with a machete. Part 7 had him with a lot of different stuff. But still, all the kills were quick. In this one, they were imaginative, and they were pretty gory. One of them was actually fucking frightening if you were put in that situation yourself. And then you got Jason being just this big, hulking mass of monster.
Yep.
The music made it for an incredible backing to the movie itself. Then you got the actors. They did a good job. However, the reason I give it a 2, because I just loved on the movie so much, is it's definitely a throwaway movie. A lot of people, when they say they want to watch Friday the 13th, no one really thinks of the 2009. They all think of the original. Most of them only think of part 6.
Or part 4.
Or part 4. So throughout thinking about where I'd put this movie in a ranking, this movie is definitely a 2 out of 4.
I think that's fair. And yeah, this movie is funny, you're right. It's not a bad movie by any stretch, but I think the Friday 13th audience is kind of split on it, basically. It's not hated on. Nobody looks at this as how Nightmare fans look at the Nightmare remake. Mm-hmm. It's not shitted on or just considered a terrible movie. Nobody considers it the worst in the series. But it never comes up when people talk about what are your top couple favorites to watch. You're right. You hear part 4, you hear part 6. Surprisingly, I think Jason Takes Manhattan is starting to take a turn towards becoming more popular and loved. Actually, people are starting to revisit that, and
just because of how ridiculous it is.
I've always said as bad as it is, it's that one's probably one of the most rewatchable ones you could watch. So, yeah, this movie
Up until the end.
Yeah, the reason, to add on what you're saying, the reason it's a throwaway is because basically it's essentially just borrowing pieces of the other movies and trying to give you a summary of the first 4 movies for like a new audience. So technically, if you've already seen the first 4 movies, you're not getting anything new here. It's just encapsulating what happened in the first 4 movies and trying to give you the best bits, basically. So it doesn't add anything new to the series. It's a different Jason. I mean, Jason's basically Predator. He's the best hunter of all time. It goes in a different direction a little bit. I would say the middle part of the movie is a lot of fun. When Jason is killing off all the kind of the side characters, it's a lot of fun, and the opening is great as well. The ending I didn't like. Like I said, I don't like the character of what's her face.
Whitney.
I don't like the character of Whitney. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2 as well. I think it's not the worst in the series, not the best in the series. It's just kind of
There.
yeah, it's kind of like, well, as with all remakes, it's kind of unnecessary. I think this movie would have done better actually just to have gone full on, we're a sequel. Remove that first thing about his mom getting killed, have him already have the mask, or have him keep the sack the entire time. But you can fit in the timeline I think maybe, especially if you do Sackhead Jason, you can fit it as like being between part 1 and 2 maybe. Or he has the mask, and this is just a sequel to Jason Goes to Hell. I think the thing that brings it down is just that it's embraced as a remake. If it was just a sequel, I think actually people would rank it a lot higher, honestly. It just has that remake feel where it's like, oh, he's getting the mask, and they're recapping everything again. It's not a bad movie, fun time. It's the writers of Freddy vs. Jason wrote this. So they clearly stepped up their game from when they did Freddy vs. Jason. And it's the director who did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which is actually a pretty good remake. So the movie looks beautiful. It's well shot.
I think the reason...
But the characters are stock stereotypes, cliches like crazy, and I do not buy them as a friendship group at all.
So the only reason the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake works so well is because Jessica Biel.
She was amazing in that, acting-wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not because they redid the butt shot that they did in the original.
No, it was just a well done. It was the first of the big remakes, and it had that sort of at the time that kind of look of it still was appealing. By the time they got that Nightmare remake, that super serious look was no longer appealing. It was just annoying by the time they got Nightmare. But back in 2003, when you first saw it in Texas, you're like, "Ooh, this is a gritty remake." But then they try to do that with everything. Everything was a gritty remake, and ended up being a shitty remake. So, but anyways, yeah, it's not the best series, not the worst series. It's not New Beginning, but it's not Part 6. It's somewhere in the middle. So, 2 stars.
And with that, I'm going to 2-star out of the fuck out of here. You all have a good night. And remember, puppies are cute and fluffy.
Happy belated Friday the 13th.